Okay, so welcome back to my second review of these excellent devices, the Oraimo Airbuds. If you missed my first review, please look for it in my channel because I gave an overview of these devices in terms of how to use them, just close to an unboxing. And I promised to give a second review, but I'm doing that about 2 months later. And so this is not just a second review, it's a 2 month review where now actual usage sort of modifies what I'm going to say, and that's a good thing. And so we look at an overall verdict 2 months in, charging, how well it fits, sound quality, phone call quality, and that's right, they have phone functionality, multi-point function, and some special tricks and tips that I've sort of learned having used this for a few months. And one warning relating not to the earbuds themselves, but to the charging case. And yes, this is a charging case. It carries about 500 milliamp hours of charge, and that's enough to charge these earbuds 3 times in addition to the fast charge. If you didn't already know this, then this whole setup has 24 hours of continuous music play, and how you get that is these two earbuds can last 6 hours, then they charge 3 more times via this case, and collectively that's 24 hours straight. And I have tested it, it's true, you're able to get 24 hours of charge continuous play if you're going to play music 24 hours continuously, meaning you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're not doing anything else but playing music. Now if you're a human, as I am, you're actually going to charge this once every 10 to 14 days, which is what I'm getting right now. And essentially just opening this up, you open it and place the earbud inside, which is the safest way to keep it, and you can see it's charging. That red light there indicates that it's charging, and that's precisely what you get when you place those two buds in to charge. And so yeah, that's the first thing. What's my overall verdict about these devices? That's where I was supposed to have started. In fact, these are excellent devices. People well, buy them, make a decision. Again, the cost is reasonable. Check that out in my first video. I'll mention it again at the end. In terms of fitting, initially I had a bit of a problem. It fits in my ear, that's fine, except that if I was moving up and down, then there are instances where it would sort of fall off, and when it falls off, it's a bit like a ball. It can roll off some distance, and that can be a problem. Then I realized that I have to change this tight fitting item at the end here, the earpiece, I don't know what you call this, the rubber at the end, and I got a bigger one, and now it fits in very snugly. But if you have a small ear, it's actually a problem, because my wife doesn't have as big a ear as I do, and she has a problem fitting this in, and it'll fall off most of the time. There's a smaller rubber at the end which she's able to try to use. It fits better, but overall this doesn't fit in her ear as well as it does mine, and so that's something to keep in mind. It doesn't mean I have extra large ears, but I think if you have extra small ears, then perhaps that could be a problem. Sound quality, excellent. Sound quality is just excellent. It sounds better, I kid you not, than your phone. I think because it's sitting right in your ear. And important to note that in the phone functionality, only the left earbud has a microphone, the right earbud doesn't have the microphone. And so if you want to use them as a phone, then you have to use the left one. But again, this is a tip and trick that I've learned. You may find, I've tried on the other end, the sound is very crisp and very clear. The only problem, the volume is a bit low when someone is listening to you on the other end. And so what I've learned I could do is to put this right bud in my ear and then have this in my hand and speak through it, or have it closer by when I'm not trying to do something that requires it to be completely hands-free. And that makes the sound much better. It doesn't mean that the other person can't hear you. They can hear you quite well, but if you want to have a conversation where there is no please repeat or pardon or something of that nature, then having this in your hand makes it as good as speaking through your phone. What else? We talk about multi-point functionality, and Oraimo says that you can connect these two buds devices at the same time. And how you're supposed to do this is turn on, pair the two, there's a process for that, and then connect to the first phone on Bluetooth, then turn off Bluetooth on the first phone, then connect them to the second phone, Then now turn on the first phone and the devices will be connected to two phones. Unfortunately, I've not been successful implementing that. I think partly because I was using a phone and a laptop. My phone has Bluetooth 5.1, I think 0.2, I can't remember. And my phone has, my laptop has Bluetooth 4.2, if I'm not mistaken. And as a result, I think a multi-point function, I think, works only Bluetooth 5. I'll test that again with two devices that both have Bluetooth 5.0 and above, and perhaps that will make the difference. Again, this earbuds or Airbuds are Bluetooth 5.5 enabled, and that's actually a very good thing in terms of distance, in terms of multi-point function, and a few other functionalities. Okay, so since I wasn't able to connect to two devices at the same time, again, this is a tip and trick. I found a way to connect both of them at the same time. And so I use my left earbud to connect to my phone and the right one to connect to my laptop. But these two items are not twins. They're not equal twins as such, because the left one drives connection. And so what I learned is if I take out the left bud, then take out the right bud, the right will connect to the left one. And so I'll not have a chance to connect both of them to the same item unless I do that manually, which is still possible. But instead, what I do now is I take off the right one first, connect to the laptop, and then take out the left one, which automatically connects to my phone. And I have both devices connected to my two devices at the same time. And how cool is that? The other item I want to talk about is just phone etiquette, because it's normally, if you are cultured a little bit and you feel awkward talking on your phone at the workplace, and perhaps, it can be perfectly good conversations, work related, but again, just having a mobile phone at the workplace is kind of not so polite. In fact, again, if there are clients in the vicinity, they wouldn't know whether you're talking to your family or you're making a phone related conversation. And so it's always a difficulty. It's always a problem. And again, it's difficult to have wires hanging over your head. Now, when you have something like this going into your ear, it solves that problem completely. And I've had, just a pleasant experience making phone calls at the workplace. They are work-related phone calls, to be honest. But again, where I sit, I still feel uncomfortable having my mobile phone to my ear at work. It's work-related, but again, that's just how I am, and I think many of us could be at the same place. Again, if you have a job that requires people to make phone calls all the time, then again, having this will be a good idea for them, because clients just don't understand. And if you have something as inconspicuous as this sitting in your ear, that's fantastic. I find this to be better than Apple, what are those things called? Airpods. Because the Airpods are white, you can, it's so clear, you can see them from a mile away that's in your ear. This, you have to be up close, and you should be scanning me really to understand and see that they're in my ear. And that kind of, the way it fits into your natural space or your life is kind of nice, because you want to be able to use what you're using without really standing out, see if you're wearing a screaming yellow item on your back. And that's what this offers. One item, whenever I connect the two devices separately manually, before I started using the automatic process I've told you, I used to have to do a manual connection on my phone with the left, a manual connection with my laptop on the right. And eventually that will mean that the two devices can't speak to each other very easily. There's a very simple way to solve that, which is to take out the buds. Turn them off. Turning off means you long press this until you see the red light. Okay, so that's off, and both of them are off at the same time. Then now you long press this for 7 seconds. And when you do that, then both items, it's like a factory reset for the buds. And once you've done that, then what you need to do is just send them back into the carry case. Then take them out, starting with the left one, and they'll just connect to each other totally. So that repairing is a really important tip. You can leave a question about it. If you're not successful, I'll adjust that for you, because if you have this, that's one problem I faced. I think for a whole weekend, I wasn't able to pair the two of them. But it's a very, very simple thing that I learned from an online video. Maybe you can also learn it from me as a result of this. So that's the other item that I'm mentioning. Now, a very, very important thing to note is this case looks beautiful. and you can see it's very smooth. Comes with a side effect. When you put this in your pocket, it can easily fall off. Fortunately for me, 3 times it fell off. It was in my car. 1 time it fell off in a public transport vehicle, but I checked my pockets before I left and realized it was missing. And it's very, very easy to leave this on your seat because it's extremely smooth. So I was even contemplating perhaps to add my own lines here so that it's a little bit rough so it doesn't fall off as easily. But again, that will damage the face. So maybe I'll stick something to it just to try and ensure that it's smooth. So keep that in mind when you have these cases. Excellent devices. The items cost about $37. That is 3,700 Kenya shillings, and that is extremely affordable. Best Bluetooth audio devices I've ever owned, and you can believe it, I've owned tons of them. The battery life is fantastic, 6 hours for one, 6 hours for the second one. The carry case can extend that lifetime for both of them to 24 hours without charging. I charge these items once every 10 to 14 days. Sound quality is great. Excellent value for money. Connection is seamless. Very few issues that you may face, and most of those issues are because you just have to learn how to use it. And yeah, I think they're something you should have. Great gift, great item to have. One more item to mention, you see this blinking light. If I press that button there, the indicator, if it blinks blue and red, it means the case is charged between 20 to 80%. If it blinks red only, then it means that it's less than 20%, and if it blinks blue only, that's 80% charge, and that's the case. I thought I should mention that. It's in my first video. Again, if you haven't watched that, please go ahead, look for that first video, watch it through, and yeah. Overall, don't forget to like, to subscribe, to comment. It sort of helps the YouTube channel. I've come to learn this, and I don't normally do reviews, but for this I've opted to do it. I really support this device. This is not sponsored video. This is my own video, and so please go ahead and appreciate if you like what you've heard. Go ahead and put up the comment. Oraimo is from Transsion Holdings. Transsion Holdings, I think, is a company that owns Techno, Infinix. That's a very big brand in Africa. I think in Kenya certainly is one of the leading mobile phone sellers, and over time they've improved the quality of what they do, and right now they're quite reliable. And so yeah, I comfortably would recommend this. I'm sharing this not because of any other item, but one, learn to do reviews, number one. Number two, I think it's not useful to spend tens of thousands of shillings on something that you can get for much less. Yeah, so that's it. Have a good season. Let me know what you think. Bye.